Welcome back with a new video. Thank you guys for tuning in. I will be doing videos 2 days a week. I'll be having guests once a week, and then myself, I'll be posting and educating you guys on more content. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. I have a friend of mine, DesyreeNicole. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
So my name is Des. First off, thanks for having me on your show.
Of course.
Former athlete, we met through sports, and now I am a businesswoman in multiple fields.
Sounds good. We're going to dive more into that and learn a little bit more about her and her businesses. What does entrepreneurship mean to you?
I think an entrepreneur is somebody that really gets it out the mud. They're willing to really do high risk but high reward. For me, being an entrepreneur, I think the biggest thing was getting rid of the middleman. You know, when you talk about your goal as an entrepreneur is to touch X amount of dollars or provide this amount of service. But when you're working for a company, they're taking X amount of dollars and giving you pennies. So I think when you're ready to make that shift, it is more work, but I think an entrepreneur just really cuts out the middleman into their goals and like their end goal.
Definitely. That makes a lot of sense. Cutting out that middleman and maximizing your dollar.
Yep.
And not working for someone else.
I think that's the biggest thing with any entrepreneur though, in any field. Or any business owner really. I think people have a misconstrued concept of what an entrepreneur is. They're like, oh yeah, I'm about to work for myself. I'm about to have all this free time, and it's like the complete opposite. So when you're working for yourself and you're trying to build these multiple streams of income, all of your time is really allocated to building it up until you get to a point where you have employees, where you have employees or have like a legitimate, business where people are handling things and you can get passive income. Obviously we spoke about passive income before, but an entrepreneur, you have no time. And I think if people can come to the realization with that, then more people would be entrepreneurs.
Definitely. It's about, personally, me, myself, entrepreneurship, I like to build passive income, put in the work up front, and then reap the benefits on the back end. So putting all the work forward and getting paid monthly, weekly, daily for sitting on the couch or being on vacation somewhere. That's what it means to me.
Right.
What fields do you invest in currently?
So, I would say like after college, like the first thing that I really learned about like running a business was clothing. So I own a menswear line, Todd Patrick. I personally deal with branding and styling NFL players. NBA players, NFL players are just really high profile clientele.
Okay.
So that was like the first stream of revenue I had. The second would be an app called BarTap. So I started an app that has no income at this point. This point is still in the fetal stages of building out the app, getting users, bars that you want on the app, really building it out. This is like one of those things too. When you have these babies, like businesses are babies. Like you gotta feed them, you gotta tend to them.
Definitely. And
this is still a baby. And then the third one is called Flipthatshxt. Bleep that out for you guys. But it's called Flipthatshxt. And all of my businesses have my partner and my life partner, Gabriella Paulino. She is a partner in all of our businesses, and we kind of just tag team and work together. And our fourth one will be Paulino Productions. So.
Paulino Productions, video productions, and things like that. Tell us a little bit about your real estate. Let's tell us about your first deal. Like break down the numbers on that for us.
Okay, so I kind of got into real estate randomly. One of my cousins or something, they told me about this website. It's called buildingdetroit.org. Hopefully you can put the link below or like put it on the screen right here.
Check that out.
But it's basically through the land bank of Detroit, and they be auctioning off houses for $1,000.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like believe it or not, $1,000. So I started looking into that and saved up my little bit of money from Todd Patrick or styling or like any type of income I had. I just set a certain number aside and was like, all right, I'm going to use this to invest in this.
Okay.
The benefit for me was all of my family basically build houses. So my stepdad, Johnny, he can literally build a house from the ground up. Yes. Like anything, like plumbing, flooring, electrical. My dad is super good with his hands too. He does roofing and fencing. So I kind of already had like the pieces that I needed to kind of save me money on the back end.
Right.
And that's, I feel like, just researching what you want to invest in, right? So if you're going to invest in couches, like you might not know everything about couches, but your best friend could build couches for a living, right? And you do the business side, he builds the couches, and then you make bread together.
Right.
So the real estate, I bought a crib for $1,000.
Okay.
use my family to help out my family. Thank God for them. But probably invested maybe like 8 to 10,000 into it and put it on the market for like 50,000. So right now, took it off the market and renting it out for like $600 a month. So if you add it all up, you might be talking about anywhere between 10 to 15,000, depending on how much money you put into it, right? So after 2 years, like you get all your money back, and everything after that is just all income.
Definitely. So basically, you're collecting passive income as we speak in that property that you paid $1,000 for.
See, I don't consider it passive income because I feel like you have to be at a point where your return on investment is paid off, and then that becomes passive income. I don't consider your investment to be passive income until your investment is taken care of. Until
that initial cost is wiped out, basically.
Right. So say I buy the house and I bought it for X amount of dollars, invested this amount of dollars. If my total investment is $15,000, not until my $15,000 is paid off will that become passive income. For me, I feel like everybody is different because they're considering income, but that's a hole. You're in a hole. Right. You know, that's a debt, really. Right. So until you pay that off, then it's really not income.
That makes sense.
You know what I mean? So.
No, I've never heard anyone speak in that term of passive income. That definitely makes sense. Some people look at it as if you spent $1,000 and you're making $50 a month, they do percentages like your ROI for the year instead of the way
like
you're
26% or like that's big on rental properties too. Like, oh, you're gonna make 26% of your investment back this year. Right. But I feel like you still in a hole, so I don't know. I don't know how I would explain that.
Right. No. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but that's not bad. That's crazy. There's not many places in the world where you can buy a house for $1,000. You know what I mean? So that's a blessing for sure.
I just learned about a couple new land banks actually. So they have a couple in New York. They got one in Syracuse. They selling cribs for $1,000 in Syracuse, like right by the water. Yeah, Italy. Italy has a program right now where they're doing $1, like €1 cribs. Yeah, the world is for sale, y'all. If you don't know this now. America is for sale. This world is for sale. And if you don't own anything, own land and own property because the value will increase over time.
Definitely, and that's something that no one can take from you. You know what I mean? You can have jewelry, cars,
unless you don't pay your taxes,
things like that. Yeah, definitely. Make sure you guys pay your taxes. But owning homes, land, anything like that, you can pass that on. You know what I mean? Yeah. Cars, jewelry, things like that. They depreciate. Sometimes they appreciate, but you can pass those things on, and you can reap the benefits from them. You know what I mean?
It's really about just building generational wealth. Like I think people are put into different situations when they grow up. You know, say my mom had a crib and my dad had a crib, and then they move and they give me the cribs. Now I don't have to spend $2,000 a month on trying to invest in an apartment or a crib or something like that, and it allows me to allocate my funds elsewhere. Maybe building a business, maybe getting a car, maybe investing in something. So I think there's different ways that we can pass down wealth to the next generation, whether it be your kids or not. You know.
Definitely, that makes sense.